Hey y'all, how y'all doing today? Y'all forgive me if you hear a little background noise. It is Thanksgiving and not Thanksgiving today, but Thanksgiving week, of course, and no one is going to be quiet for me to take this. So, good morning. Hey guys, I hope you're staying safe. First off, I want to thank you so much for your support. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And thank you for your encouraging words in the comments. I see them. Also, my page may not be everyone's cup of tea. So I want to say to those that lend their perspective in the comments, I appreciate that also. So let's talk about it. So I already had started this project. I thought this would be a cool thing to talk about. Like I said, I sort of like to talk about subjects that I can't find a group or forum that's non-biased on YouTube. Let's talk about the revolving door of Hollywood Unlocked. And the Destiny Child of podcasts. I didn't say it, Jason Lee did. And that was adorable. He spoke on that because so many co-hosts have come through the door. But the show must go on, and this guy is a total boss. The man has grind. He built himself from the ground up. Have you read his book? I posted in a link. I encourage you to read it. It's pretty good. As for his personal life, Jason has overshared sometimes. I mean, he has gotten deep. He has told us everything from his childhood, his relationship with his mother, road to stardom, wilding out, and VH1 Love and Hip Hop. His sexuality, his weight journey. This man is an open book. We will do a video on Jason Lee later down the road. Here, let's talk about how he took his brand Hollywood Unlocked from YouTube to podcast to TV. Hollywood Unlocked, yes, is on TV now. Okay, let's kick it off with the pilot episode. We see some familiar faces. We have Doboy, melyssaford, and of course, Jason Lee. Well, Melyssa, we already know her as the beautiful video vixen from some of our favorite early 2000 videos, but she may be one of the first to preach multiple incomes, streams, and education for women of color. Melyssa is not just a pretty face. She was on the Bravo show Blood, Sweat, and Heels, and she's also a real estate agent. And someone tell the game, she did not even own a Honda Accord, okay? All right, we recognize someone else here. It's our boy Doboy. I won't stay long on Doe, but we know he's a talented comedian, rapper, media personality, and more. Let's get it. So now we see the season kicks off. Doughboy is not there. We have Giovanni Watson in place of Doughboy, Melyssaford, and now Jason Lee. So we have our group, right? A little about Giovanni. He is an actor and he's actually known for doing impressions. Also in the Midwest, he's known for being a radio personality in Indiana. Things were rolling right along. Then Melyssa and Gio went missing. Here's a little bit of Melyssa's story. I want to warn you that it's delicate. People magazine reported that in July of 2018, and I want to say this again, this may be triggering. On the way to a baby shower, Melyssa's Jeep flipped over and over, and it collided with the 18-wheeler truck. Melyssa was hospitalized, of course. She went through extensive therapy and training, and she journaled all of that on her Instagram page. I was happy to see Melyssa come back through therapy. She even does a series with YouTube fitness expert Mike Rashid's page. But she went through a lot, mental, emotional, and physical to come back. And we're so proud and we're so glad she's still with us. So now on to Gio. He's missing. Jason at first won't tell us why. But there were some issues with Gio that we don't know what happened. It's alleged, confirmed, denied, but they were hints. But Jason chose not to speak on it. But after Gio made a public post about his departure from Hollywood Unlocked, that kind of made Jason sad. He spoke on how he thought of Gio as family and it was hard. It was alluded and reported it could be legal troubles. But we won't report on that here today because as of today, I could not find on what Gio is up to. So I'm just going to leave that be. Moving forward, we are now introduced to DJ Damage in Gio's place. So we have a new group. DJ Damage is taking the place of Giovanni along with another temporary co-host, Giovanni. She calls herself Jofra. Jerusalem already worked for Hollywood Unlocked behind the scenes. She writes, produces, amongst other media. I see her on BuzzFeed a lot. She's really a good analyst. DJ Damage, he's part of the famous heavy hitter DJ squad, and he's also a media coach. He has courses on how to build your podcast, become a media personality, and even more. So now we have Damage, Jerusalem, and Jason. Then Jason announces sadly that Melyssa will be going on her own path and not coming back. Understandably, she's been going through so much. We, as the public, would have to wait until January 1st, 2019 for a new co-host. And we got it. April Jones. Yes, Omarion's April. Lil Fizz April? April? Just April. Love and Hip Hop April would take the place of Melyssaford. So now, if you're still with me, we have DJ Damage in place of Giovanni, April in place of Melyssa permanently, and Jason Lee. Remember, Jerusalem was 10th. So, I'm sorry guys. So then a shakeup occurred. You guys, fill me in the comments if you know what happened. It was another announcement. Melyssaford will return to Hollywood Unlocked. So now, let's say it with me. We have DJ Damage, Melyssa, who begot April, who begot Jerusalem, who begot Melyssa, and of course, Jason Lee. Melyssa's back and she's stronger than ever. She also announces that she has a new podcast, Here for the Food. November 2019 was the release, and let me tell you, I really loved it. The co-host on Melyssa's Baby was Chantel Anderson, a Vanderbilt University graduate, and she played for the WNBA. And she represented the faith part of Here for the Food. Blue Telusma. She is our sexually fluid, spicy Afro-Latina, just a free spirit. She's into candles and tarot cards and teas, and it's really cool. Reading energy. So it's a reason I brought Melyssa podcast up. We'll get to that later. It was going so well. Hollywood Unlocked was together with a solid crew. So let's get back to Here for the Food. We have Melyssa, Blue, Chantel. All of a sudden, Chantel goes missing. She decides to take a break. Allegedly, the shows were getting a bit sexual. The Mr. Marcus episode was good, but it was not for her. She built her own podcast, Confidently His. She chose another route, and Melyssa understood. So it was just Melyssa and Blue Telusma on Here for the Food. Then we go over to Hollywood Unlocked. We have Melyssa, DJ Damage, and we have, of course, Jason Lee. Well, in 2020, tragedy struck Melyssa again, and of all times during the pandemic. Her mom, as Melyssa had reported to us, got sick, and she chronicled this journey and all the difficulties she was having, especially getting over to Canada. She's a Canadian citizen. Melyssa's mom, sadly, passed on. Melyssa needed a break. We're sure, right? Then came an announcement. Melyssa would be leaving Hollywood Unlocked, but still updating us on her podcast, Here for the Food. She would be going solo for now. We also could see in the new first episode of Here for the Food There was no issues between Chantel and Melyssa, as they did an excellent podcast on when you're grieving your parents. Jason Lee then makes another announcement because over in Hollywood Unlocked, it's currently just him and DJ Damage. He will be bringing in a new female co-host. And drum roll, please, it's Blue. Yes, our girl Blue from Here for the Food with melyssaford. She is the new female co-host of Hollywood Unlocked. Whew. So now we have Blue, Damage, and we have Jason Lee. Did I leave anyone out? This is a prime example of how the show must go on. Please, in the comments, tell me who's your favorite Jason Lee co-host? Who's your favorite gang on Hollywood Unlocked? Also,